Hello and welcome to Slaysian Persuasian.
My name is Virginia, please.
And I'm Calypso.
And we are on our 5th episode.
Oh my god, it's been 5 episodes of this fabulous
Can you
season.
believe?
No, it's really been flying by,
Yeah.
and I've just really been enjoying this season.
And-
It's one of my favorites.
To explain what we're wearing right now, we're actually trying to emulate the group that was eliminated.
Yeah, it was in the bottom, yes.
And I will explain out what they were going for.
Yes, absolutely.
later.
These are the biggest earrings I've ever worn, courtesy of Virginia.
You
I
look
feel like a real
amazing.
drag queen today.
Girl, you are a real drag queen.
I know. I remember like this is taking me to the edge.
Yeah.
I live. They look amazing.
I love it. I am so nervous for this review because
Really?
this probably is the most emotional drag race I've ever seen in history so far. Well, also because I'm Filipino and I can relate to everything that was happening on screen.
Exactly. I think it
Yeah.
really hit different being Asian watching
Yeah.
this, because I agree with you. Like when you watch other seasons and they have these makeover episodes, it
Mhm.
usually touches on some kind of emotional
Yeah.
storyline, because a lot of the times their family members
Mhm.
or the people that they bring in have some kind of
Yeah.
background. But this was really hit close to home.
I know, yeah. And I really commend them for doing this and giving a platform for Filipino issues, but not only Filipino issues, a lot of immigrants and people who are displaced for so many reasons can relate to the things that they were talking about.
Exactly. There's actually a TikTok trend going around right now where people of different minoritized identities are finding relation.
Mhm.
So like there was a TikTok where someone can say, when you are South Asian but you're watching Crazy Rich Asians and you're crying because you're relating to their experience. So like people are saying that like there was a whole trend going on around. So it felt like that too. Like
Yeah.
I might not be Filipino myself, but a lot of that Asian immigrant story hits, I think, everybody.
I know, and we can talk more about that as
When we get there, yeah.
move through the review.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching this episode while I was doing my makeup, and I'm like, okay, let's pause right here. Let's not do anything more. Let's like
know.
focus on tilting the eyes up.
Yeah. I hope I'm not gonna cry. I'll try my best. But
Sure. But yes, we can get started with the recap,
yes,
right?
let's
So
go.
we walk in. Unfortunately, Kitty Space has just been eliminated, and she left a message in French on the mirror, and Arizona was struggling to read it.
And Suki was like, she interpreted it differently.
Yeah, I was like, that was really funny to me. Like,
Yeah.
I will haunt you in your
in your dreams.
Yes. And then we get a little bit of an interesting moment here because Arizona just says, well, she picked me last week, so I picked her to go.
You know, I've noticed this has always been an issue in each episode.
We've been talking about the storyline of the international queens versus the Filipina queens,
Mhm.
but this episode actually I felt kind of played out a little differently.
Mm.
But I think that storyline changed because it was actually Kiana who had
Mhm.
the differing opinion.
Exactly.
She immediately says, I actually think Bernie should have gone.
And, you know, she didn't say that without any basis and reasoning why she said that. But, I believe her. I believe her first reasoning, which was, due to the track record. But I think the second reason of her hearing what Bernie said is also something of consideration.
That
for her.
actually, that's what I was curious about. Did a producer tell her that?
I
Was she
think
like
so.
eavesdropping? Because I'm like, that conversation felt so removed. And I actually thought about it last episode too. I was like, Bernie didn't say Kiana's name in the top 4.
Exactly.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
but,
and so it's interesting that they're also like in the same kind of drag showgirls who, are very striking on stage.
Would you
and-
say so, Kiana and Bernie?
I would say, I know Bernie does not perform all of those, dips and
Yeah, the stunts.
the stunts, but basically I see them in the same lane as showgirls.
Okay,
because that's what Bernie really is.
Like a fierce performer.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I really feel like Kiana was right. The difference is I really loved Bernie on her original season, and she kind of just faded into the background this season. But
Yeah.
so did Kiana in a way. So that's what's
it's
interesting. It's
really-
these two who are having that conversation.
Really, really interesting the casting here, because I think I don't know how the producers would choose it, but I could sort of read their minds that, oh, this girl will not be able to defeat this girl and not be able to
Yes. I mean, Kiana even said it. The international
Yeah.
queens just aren't ready, which I think is so
Exactly.
shady. But I mean, if you take a look at track record and just objectively looking at who did better on Drag Race, every single queen from the Philippines had a statistically better track record than any of the queens from the internationals.
Yeah.
So I think she even acknowledges it, and it's like an open conversation. Yuha is like really galvanized. She's just like, right now it's only me, Siam, and Suki. We really need to stick together and make sure that we make it to the next week and that we're on top, because we have to represent because nobody else is here.
Question for you: if you were Bernie's position, if you were invited to a Slaysian Royale and you know who your competitors are, would you have thought in advance that this may be premeditated, that the order at which they will exit the show.
I see. So
Yeah.
you're saying like when they were casting it, each
Yeah.
person kind of had their role or
Yeah.
their elimination order kind of predetermined in a
Yeah,
way.
I just wonder if you could actually gauge
Mhm.
yourself from your competition. If you do, would you still continue the competition? And I think for me, the answer would still be yes, because it's an exposure.
That's what I would say too. I'm like, yeah, why not? I mean, there's no more rules anymore. It's not
Yeah.
like this is your only shot.
Yeah.
You could go on this, go home first, and then come back 3 seasons
Exactly.
later.
And we all know that
So-
girls who did not win made it so big and so far and did so many
Exactly.
things
No,
outside.
I think it's like don't
Yeah.
turn out the opportunity to get more exposure to have that
Exactly.
experience.
Yeah.
And especially when it sounds so fun and groundbreaking like
Yeah.
this, she gets to be part of the first cast of this ever. So my mindset, I mean, I think you have to be mentally ready and prepared to go back into that environment. If you are, then why not? You could be like think about Ginger Minj, think about queens who've been brought back like 4 or 5 times. That's possible now. What if it's this and then she goes on to go Lost Stars, or this and she goes on to another versus the world?
That was just a thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it is tough when you are feeling like other people are outshining.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how Brittany is feeling in this moment.
I feel for her in this season because it feels like the world is getting smaller and smaller for her. She's being cornered at every turn that she makes.
Especially at the end of this episode, we'll get there, but I really felt for her too, because this was a challenge where it's like, what more could you have possibly done? This is all you can do.
This is where your limit is.
Yes.
So to speak.
One of my favorite moments from this section was when Brigading is going to her own statue and she's saying, "You did so good." That was my favorite. But yeah, so then
I love that.
Right? Support yourself, girl. Support yourself. Yeah.
You're the last person who will.
Exactly. So then it's a new day in the workroom. They all come in. They're still kind of talking about this. Kiana and Bernie are going at it again. And basically, Bernie's like, "Babe, I almost went home. Can you stop bringing this up?"
And then Mama Pao comes in, and unfortunately, I did not like it.
You didn't like this? Like, I mean, last week was a hard week to live up to.
I know, but I understand. What do you think of this trend of like really baggy clothes? I mean, I know that happened in the 90s and as well, but it's coming back.
It's about the silhouette. And it's about like what you can accentuate. And like everything doesn't need to be super tailored and all that. Maybe next week I'll come in a baggy look.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the color combination of that and those chicken feathers did not really match the base of it, which was gray. I was like, something's wrong.
Right. Elevate it, mama. Elevate. Let's get some better. Let's get some better feathers. Let's go from chicken, turkey, ostrich. Like, let's go.
It's hard because you're gonna be judged.
Oh no, absolutely. But yeah, so then they introduced this challenge. I wanted to ask you about this challenge because I love how there's just so much infusion of cultural. So so when they explained it, they said something about like gay spider, but then the shot that they showed was actually 2 actual spiders.
And this has not only happened in the Philippines. I think other countries has this, but I grew up looking for spiders in the forest.
Okay.
And we would look for the biggest spider, and then after we look like at 4 a.m. in the morning, in around 10, we would all gather and we would let our spiders fight. And people would bet on it.
Okay.
As well.
You catch the spider, and then so what actually happens? So there's a stick, and then what happens?
And the spiders meet at the center, and they try to kill each other.
Really? They'll just go at each other?
Yeah.
Wow.
And one will emerge.
Is it a special type of spider, or can you just do this?
Can be any spider, but I know there are different kinds of spiders. The really strong ones are harder to find.
Did you have a pet spider that you'd have to train and like make sure it was really strong?
So we have this matchbox, and we sort of divide it into compartments, and we put each of the spider there. And we would take care of them for like a week or like a month.
Wow. Yeah. This is like Pokemon IRL.
Exactly.
Like in real life Pokemon, you're like, I want that spider because I know it's going to have these skills. That's
before
so
technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it was so much more fun then. You were able to go out, be with your friends in the presence,
nature.
Physicality. Exactly.
Yeah. That's really cool. Okay, well, now I'm like, part of me is like, I don't know if I would want to pick up a spider and be like this one, but I feel like when you're playing the game, you have to put that aside. And you're like, okay, I want to win. I'm going to pick the biggest spider. And I think my desire to win would overcome my fear of the creepy crawlies.
You get used to it. I mean, we were kids. Like,
yeah.
Maybe I started doing that. I was 5 years old, and then continued up until maybe my teens.
Work. That's incredible. Oh my god. So I love how it's like I like how they dragified it, made it big, and they made it like kind of more exciting. So they're all in their like spider drag, and then they basically have to like knock each other off.
That's very Western, though. The weapon that they use. There's none of that in the Philippines.
Yeah, it reminds me of big Q-tips, like big puffy Q-tips. But yeah, so they go through, they all go through the different rounds, and Kiana locked in like she is for every single challenge. She wins the mini challenge.
Who said again that this is what Kiana is good for?
Oh, just winning the mini challenge.
Was that you?
I think so. They were like, well, this is all that you are, which is shady. I'm like, damn, let the girl like get what she can. So immediately she gets to win, and then she gets to have an advantage and provide a disadvantage to the contestants. So then Mama Pao introduces the challenge, and then it's basically a makeover episode, but they're doing it in pairs, and the people that they're making over are OFW. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about?
I'm really nervous talking.
Oh no, it's okay. Okay.
I will. So OFW means Overseas Filipino Worker. And for the longest time, this has been the greatest contributor to the Philippine GDP.
Even though they're outside of the country, their income.
This is how the Philippines survive. And unfortunately, it's so timely that this episode happens now because there's all this news about corruption in the Philippines.
Exactly.
And we call them heroes, and all these heroes are, getting money from outside to invest in the Philippines through their families, so that we have spending power because of them, and then it contributes to the national GDP. But unfortunately, if I were an OFW and knowing that my money, the tax money were only spent for these lavish lifestyles by nepo babies, I would be so disappointed as well.
A lot of the same issues are happening in not only the Philippines,
exactly,
in Indonesia. Like, it actually gives me goosebumps to think about the way that like people have had enough and they're rising up and then they're fighting for they're taking their country back.
The world is revolting because the basic unit of each country are the families, and when you destroy the family, literally the children are emotionally, psychologically destroyed. The families, the parents would choose to be away from their there we go.
Away from from their families.
It's really, really hard, and I went through that as well. My mom, well, aside from being a political activist and had to leave the country several times, she had to leave the country to also sustain us. And she missed a lot of my birthdays, graduation. She was not able to see all of that, and there were just times that I would just long for a mom who could hug me or comfort me or say you're doing good and or not, And a lot of Filipinos relate to that. So when I was watching this episode, I was really emotional watching them crying as well, because it's such a common experience for Filipinos, and, just thinking that these parents are sacrificing their own comfort to be separated from their families just to sustain is such a unique experience, I would say, and a really sad experience as well. I don't think that any family deserves to be separated from their immediate families. It's really, really hard. And unfortunately, a lot of Filipinos have to go through this because of, the poverty and all of the corruption that we've inherited from, the colonizers. I will call that out because Filipinos are not inherently corrupt. We are such a community-minded nation and people. And, capitalism has really, done us really bad. And it's not, and that this does not only show up in the Philippines. Exactly. It's all over the world. The world is revolting right now because we've had enough of this greed, of these powerful people who just wants profit for themselves and not thinking about the rest of us. So
absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And that's the whole thing. It's like, it's not a isolated experience. Generations of people, even queens on this show, were sharing their experiences with that. And you're right. It's a very interesting dynamic to have when your income and livelihood is completely removed from it.
And in each of the story, I could really relate, that one mom who says that whenever she leaves, the child does not even want to hug her. And that happened to my siblings and me as well. When my mom would come back, we don't recognize her or she recognizes us, and it's just an awkward, you could really feel the amount of loss that we've had in terms of being a family,
Truly a mutual sacrifice. But that was really a poignant moment in the episode where I was surprised that so many of them said, I can relate, I can relate. And then even beyond that, when Yuha and Siam were also discussing it as well, of their immigrant minds, Yuha, Siam, and Suki, all of them actually. So I think this is the beauty of having Slaysian Royale. Like, these are the moments that really count, because it's identifying an experience that is universal, or aspects of which are universal. Because the commonality here is that there is a foreign element, right? There's an overseas element where the Filipino queens experience that from their parents and their providers having to be away, while the immigrant experience is that same kind of separation of distance and having to convince the other person that you're okay. I think that was the one where Yuhua and Sam were both like, I have to call them and just tell them, even if I'm not okay, I have to tell them that
Yeah.
I'm okay, because I don't want them to
Yeah.
worry.
Have
And
you
that
had
was-
any experiences like this as well?
I mean, the experience of immigrant story, definitely. I mean, so my family came to the US, but it wasn't all at once.
Yeah.
My mom came here first.
Mm.
And I think she could relate a lot more. I was so
Yeah.
young that I couldn't tell who was who.
Mm.
I mean, they were all just parental figures, right? I came here when I was so little. But she also had an experience where I would not like to be held by
Yeah.
her, because I was so used to my grandparents and my
Yeah.
dad
Yeah.
that when she was here and when my dad and I came, she would tell me later that she'd be like, even when I would try to pick you up, you didn't want me to pick you up.
Yeah.
And for her, that must have been so difficult, because she had been away from her child for like several months, developing a life here. And when we
Yeah.
came, it was like, but I will say there's this one element that I always push back, because I think it was a conscious decision to come here and have that better life. So when I visit India again, sometimes people would like to say, oh, your mother left you and then she just went off. I mean, she didn't leave me. She had every intention of bringing me with her. And I could tell from a young age that sacrifice was for a purpose,
Yeah.
and that sacrifice was for a better life. So I never once felt a resentment. I never once felt a thing, even when others would try to put that on me. I always knew. I think it was very transparent to me what
You could just
situations
imagine
were.
how difficult it was probably for your mom. The last time that my mom left us, I woke up. It was early in the morning. I could really remember distinctly in my mind. She really tried to be hard, and she had a very stoic face, and she just kissed all of my siblings one by one. I could just imagine how hard it was for her.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you, Slaysian Royal, for giving space and platform to uncover some of the issues that immigrants go through, and OFWs go through. It's priceless. If anything, this is the most precious gift that you're giving us in this show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it really reinforces that solidarity between immigrants, and that solidarity against the powers that be that require these kinds of sacrifices.
Exactly. There's a reason the world is revolting right now, because
Exactly.
we're tired of it, we're frustrated,
Exactly.
and we want to be human beings, and we want to be with our families. Anyways, where were we?
Yeah, I know. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah, of
sharing.
course.
I know that I think a lot of people can relate to that, and I'm so excited for people to hear these stories, our perspectives, from the perspectives of the queens on the show that we're watching, because it adds to that conversation. And for everybody else who might not know about this, well, now you're aware, and now you're educated about it. Like Yuha said, she didn't know that this was a thing. I was always aware of this,
Exactly, yeah.
actually, because I think I was just always very aware of like different immigrant groups coming to the US specifically. So I think I've always had a little bit of an awareness, and I think I was also fortunate to be in a surrounding with so many different Asian people. So I was like, I just knew of the different dynamics, and I knew that. But I'd say, like, it was interesting hearing that. What would you say some of the biggest export job-wise specifically? Because I'm a little curious about that, because each of these participants had different.
Yeah, so not a lot, contrary to, well, there's a lot of nurses all over the world,
Of course.
but a lot of Filipinos can't afford to study nursing. So a lot of Filipinos become helpers in Singapore and other countries as well. And that's when they experience, not that nurses don't experience discrimination and abuse as well, but domestic helpers, they really go through that, through those things that are, very inhuman treatment. Some of them, their employers would not let them eat, would confiscate their passports, and would threaten them with violence and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's such a sacrifice.
I've heard of stories, like horror stories, really, of people in Singapore, Malaysia, in the Middle East, especially. In the Middle East right now, it's a growing population of people who require domestic, or not even require. I mean, it's like, take care of your kids, or like, do that, or like, ethically source your labor. But those systems are built on underworlds of immigrants, whether it be the migrants who are doing the day-to-day labor for like the day labor, or it be the people who are doing construction in a lot of those places, and then also the domestic help. So all of these places, while they look really shiny, I can't reconcile a lot of destinations for that very purpose, because I think about all the hardship that is going on under the scenes that we don't see. All we see is the glitz and the glamour, but we don't think about the struggle that's happening.
I used to reason out and make a logical explanation of it and say, oh, this is how the world is rebalancing. When the colonizers have set forth poverty on us, then we get out and, sort of survive through their resources as well. But no, this is not right. It's not right at all.
One experience that I had myself was when I was visiting Hong Kong during a layover. It was an extended layover, so we were there for a few days. We were there on a Sunday, and I was walking the streets. I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I remember seeing just hundreds hundreds of Filipino women just out on the streets. And then they had these large pieces of cardboard that they would sit on. It was almost like they were having a picnic. It would be on the sidewalks. It would be on pedestrian bridges everywhere. And my mother and I were just watching. We were just so curious. We didn't know what was happening. So we spoke to one of them and they said that this was their only day off. And then on their day off, they like to socialize. They're all on their phones, calling their families. And it was incredible to see, but it was also like a little bit of like a heart stopping or a heart tugging moment because it felt like, wow, this entire city-state's labor force is out on the streets right now because they don't have a place of their own that they can go relax. So just to get away and have a break or have reprieve, they had to do this. So that was a moment that's a visual that still sticks with me to this day. And then that was when I really learned about OFWs and that phenomenon.
You know, I think as human beings, we really seek for connection and community. And the absence of our family, I think that's the explanation that I could say. That happens here also. Like we have Daly City as a Filipino city. We tend to group together because of all the familiar things that we can get from grouping together. Anyways, we've
taken a big stretch. We'll move forward and talk about the episode, and then we'll just talk about the things. Talked about every hard conversation that could have happened. So now that
at least we got that out.
Now we can just look at it objectively. Basically, Mama Pa was like, all right, split up, pair up right now. And then she says, Kiana, you get to swap around. You get to assign each person and you get to swap people around. So she assigns everybody and she said that there's no strategy, there's nothing. She's just going off a vibe. And she picked someone who has a similar story to her aunt. So she explained that. So
you believe that?
I mean, honestly, I thought the playing field was pretty even. Have you ever put someone else in, makeover episode. Have you ever put someone else in drag?
Yes.
Okay, how was that experience for you?
I wanted to try to make her makeup different than mine, but it always tends to be the same.
So was this another drag queen or was this just another
person?
I know, just another person who'd never done drag before. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Were you able to navigate another person's face? Like,
it's hard.
It's so hard.
It's hard.
This is the thing that I don't think they talk. I mean, yes, but the way that they talk about sewing challenges, snatch game, those are difficult. But painting another person's face is one of the hardest things I've ever done as a drag artist.
Yeah, because like I said, you tend to do the makeup that you do to yourself to the person.
I mean, okay, I have a drag daughter and I was trying to teach her how to do more like draggy makeup. Because I think like comparatively, I don't think I have a very severe mug, but it's more than what my drag daughter had before. So I was like, let me...
Fishy girl, you're so fishy.
Well, listen, you are what you eat and I'm a vegetarian. So I think I was like, let's like drag it up a little bit because it was... The canvas that I was working with is different than mine. I think I have a pretty big face, so it's actually easier to do drag on a bigger face. When you shrink,
your face is big, girl.
Comparatively. Okay. I'm just saying like pinch and zoom big.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen people who like short foreheads. Brow connects to their hairline. What can you do there? See, I have the luxury of having more space. I've seen people who have brows and they're like a centimeter between the brow.
That's one of my pet peeves, so I'm like, just see. Like your hair is already right here. Don't you have a mirror, girl?
Right, but the thing is, it's like some things that are advantageous maybe out of drag are disadvantages in drag. Having a really nice, strong, bushy hairline that's low, great out of drag, great, amazing.
I have a high. I have
but that's good for wearing wigs,
exactly,
because you can put it wherever you want. So, okay, for example, skin type, skin texture. I didn't know that people had drier skin. So when I was doing things that I was doing for my face onto my drag daughter, I was like, this is just not working. It's sticking, exactly. And I'm like, what's happening? I'm doing exactly everything that I do for me. And then I Googled, I was like, oh, this is a symptom of drier skin, which we just have to adjust. So let's say you go there, you see someone who has a completely different facial structure. And a lot of these are women who have smaller faces. So that's the thing I'm saying. Their hairlines are rigid. They can't just move. So, so incredible job. I thought they all looked good for the most part. Everybody looked really good. And it wasn't like, my hat's off to the queens. But like, if you're getting ready for Drag Race, you need to practice other people's makeup. Like you should do that the same way you practice for Snatch Game, sewing, design, everything.
Okay, what did you think about the selections though?
I think it was pretty, like I said, it's pretty even playing field. I don't think one would have been super advantageous over the other, personally.
I mean, they could have paired Jiwa with another Filipina who's really strong.
You're talking about the pairings. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the OFWs. No, okay. Oh, okay. No. Okay, you're right. So let's go through the thing again. So it was Bernie and Arizona, season 2 sisters. They linked together immediately. Yuha was first paired with...
Was it
Venus? Because honestly, if I was Yuha, I'd be like, girl, you're winning challenges. You're good at design. Match. right?
Mm.
Brigading and Suki Doll also match up together. And I think that's interesting because Suki Doll has a very strong visual aesthetic.
Mhm.
And I think that would be advantageous in anything related to style. But which was interesting because they used Brigading's.
Yeah, and according to Venus, when Kenna was walking and trying to choose, he was like trying to give her a signal, you know? So
Thank you.
here's
Thank
another
you.
advantage
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
Filipino queens because they already have that relationship.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, did y'all really each of you bring a Mariah look and an extra one? Because that's where my mind is going. I'm like, how different? So, but yes, we'll get there. But I think Kiana was absolutely advantageous. You're gonna pick the person who's doing really well. So I think I would have picked the same. So Yuha was really smart, and Kiana was like, let me outsmart you.
And that's why I thought like poor Siam and Yua. Because I think it was very intentional.
To put them together.
Yeah.
Because it's like, honestly, you're right. I think with the way that the episode progresses, yeah. But you know, these are the pairings. So it's Kiana and Niñas, Suki and Brigading, Siam and Yuhua, and lastly Arizona and Bernie together. So they all get their people and they're talking. They go through all of their trauma. We'll skip past that.
Yeah, I thought that was really brilliant as well to pair Bernie and Ari.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just gravitated towards each other. Same thing.
Narrative-wise, like if you break those two, that will be a very, compelling story to take in.
Absolutely.
I think apart two best friends.
So they go through. The way that they approached it, it felt like one queen. I feel like each queen brought 3 looks. That's what was going on. Because Brigading had 3 similar outfits. And then Arizona had 3 similar outfits. So does that mean that Bernie had 3 outfits that we just didn't see because they didn't go in that direction?
Probably.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So all of those queens who went home, they also had 3. What? That's, oh my goodness. We have to ask someone. We'll ask Sam. We'll be like, girl, what were your 3 outfits?
I know. Must be 3 towers of.
Oh my god. Oh my. I'm so excited to hear
A
Gappa
temple.
look. Yeah, literally. 3 temples.
Yes.
A temple complex, if
Yes.
you will. So
But I felt sad for Siam. He's like, you don't want to be my friend.
I think she took it with stride. We're gonna keep going.
She's a fighter, yeah.
So then we can skip through all the conversations. They all have these conversations about their thing. One of them is like a big Drag Race fan, which I thought was advantageous. I would have been like, damn, I wish I would want you. Because
was she the one who picked the name with the dick?
No, that was crazy to me too. I'm like, what? Like what? They were all great sports.
Yeah.
Every single OFW person that they brought in were like incredibly great sports. Like
they were probably screened as well.
Absolutely. Oh my god. Imagine they can't just pluck anybody in. Yeah. That would have been actually crazy. That name really.
I was so surprised when she chose that name. Or explained what
she chose it too.
Yeah.
She was just like, it stands for. She could say anything she wanted, but she said dick.
Yeah, she's been watching Drag Girl.
Oh no, literally. Yeah. That's why she was just like, I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah, but I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so we can just skip right into the runway. I think we covered everything else.
Definitely.
So Mama Pow's on the runway again. What did you think of this look? What did you think of this Mama Pow look?
Okay, so I think I tried to tell you this. Color impeccable, the beadwork impeccable. The jewelry like beadwork, but she's been on this butterfly sleeve for forever. I mean, it's not that it's bad, but the way she judges people, it's like, oh, same silhouette, but girl, you're in the same silhouette.
You're right. It reminds me a lot of like when RuPaul. Sometimes RuPaul will go with the theme, or sometimes RuPaul will just do whatever. I think it's that same issue of like, you don't want to be directly compared to any of your queens. So if the theme is gold, if you're in a gold dress and some queen has a better gold dress than you, then it's like, what are we doing? So I think she just sticks with a certain aesthetic. But also, I think I'm always the type of like, if Drag Race India had a host, I would want to see her in a sari and a lehenga. I would want to see her. See, part of me is just like, yeah, why not? Go through the entire country and pick a different traditional costume. That's where my mind goes. But I think on an international scale, yes, maybe show us a little bit more variety.
My thing is, there are so many amazing designers in the Philippines. And, it might be a budget issue or your network issue, like Pao only knows this and that and not really friends with this and that. It could be like that.
Wasn't there some tea on season 2 stylist and like stealing money or something? Well, didn't that happen?
I think I've heard something like that.
I heard something like that too. I don't know what it was. I just remember that.
Well, I think I know the tea, but I don't think I can spill it.
Okay, well that's okay. Well, I don't know the tea. I just know what I heard, and what I heard was one of the stylists was like embezzling money or something, or like something along the lines of something crazy was happening.
I mean, I should be very careful. I don't want to.
Okay, well then, don't look at her. Just look at me. Here's what I heard. Okay, but no, I just heard there was some drama. Look it up, or somebody in the comments. Somebody in the comments will know. Can you tag me and tell me?
For us.
Can someone tag? Because I love how the comments are like, oh, this is why we do this. This is why we do this. Comments, tell me. I need to know.
And by
Virginia
the way-
won't. She won't break her NDA, but tell me, I need to know.
And by the way, someone complained that we're sitting down.
They're complaining.
Yeah.
Y'all
Now
will
they
never
want
be
us to
happy.
stand.
Y'all will never be happy.
I think I like sitting down.
No, I like
How
sitting
about
down
you?
too because this is all y'all get to see.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we're in full drag bottom, but the camera doesn't go that
Yeah.
way. So-
Anyways, we were at Mama Pau's.
Yes, Mama Pau's look.
yeah.
Great.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
I like it. All that being said, love the look.
Yes. Yeah. And she's really pretty. Last week she looked like she was cross-eyed. Did you notice
Oh,
that?
really? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, maybe it's a combination of the context and the eye color.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
might
do you
be
wear
having
contacts
the
in drag?
lighting as well. Not in our
Yeah, is that something you do?
I do because
Okay.
if I have time.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's too much for me. I tried putting on contacts; they've just all fallen to the floor. I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
can't pick it up and put it back in. So
Let me see your eyes. Oh, it's already colored.
it's like a little like it's like a
Yeah.
brown. It's
Yeah.
like a brown. But I don't mind a brown eye. But what
Yeah.
I've heard is if you have a lot of black eyeshadow, so if I were to wear contacts, I would do like a light brown. It's just when all that black is
Yeah.
there, it just makes your eyes look more fierce.
Pops.
This is
It
what
pops, yeah.
this is what Tala, a drag queen in the South Bay, told me once.
Oh, I love her.
No, she's fierce. That's
Yeah.
why I was asking. I was like, "Tell me about your eyes and your makeup." And she was like, "If you just add a little bit of like a highlight, it doesn't need to be like super icy, like a Coco Munchies electric blue.
Yeah.
But if it's just a little bit more of like a lighter color, it just makes your eyes look more. Maybe one day once I can figure out how to put.
But you know, I noticed Mama Pao last season. She wore every time this with only the pupil black,
circle lens.
and I noticed in all of the episodes of Station Royale, RuPaul is wearing the same thing.
Oh,
Did you notice that?
what do you mean?
Contacts with.
Oh, like on the video message.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What I've heard is I heard this like years ago. That makes basically if you make your pupils bigger, it makes your face look more doll-like. Because your eye, the ratio of the eyes, like the whites of the eye being less, make your whole face look.
No, it's actually the opposite. So
really?
the pupil, the iris, like the one in the center, is the only one that's
Oh.
black. The rest is white.
Yes.
So it makes you look like. I think it's used for like horror costumes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Got it.
And Mama Pao was wearing that the entire season last season. And then I noticed RuPaul was wearing that.
Yeah. I think I tip my wig to all queens who wear contacts and drag. That's another
Yeah.
layer that
Yeah, I know.
I have yet to reach. I don't think I ever will.
Yeah,
but-
and there's also a step by step because if I put it first, my makeup will be fucked up because it will be blurry.
Cry. Oh, okay, not even
Blurry.
that. So you have to make the risk of putting it on last and
Yeah.
tears too much. Yeah. But okay, so then a captivating Cat is the rotating local judge,
Yeah.
and then we have Alyssa Edwards as the international judge. Loved Alyssa's look.
Yeah.
What an event! Just blue everywhere, feathers everywhere. What a to do! I loved it. And Cat looked really good too. I really liked her outfit. Great judging.
Do you like Alyssa Edwards' fashion?
I think she's evolved to where she is now, where it's like, I don't think, if you ask me this question, season 5, All Stars 2, Global All Stars, I'd have a different answer for each one. I love her style now. I just think it's interesting how her eyes, she actually has always kind of underdone her eyes.
Yeah.
She's never done I don't think she's ever did like a super drag, even with like her time on Drag Race, I'm saying. She's always used her natural brows and she's always kind of accentuated it. Now it just looks like she has flawless base, colored eye, and lip. That's it. There's not a harsh cheek. There's not like a super overdone dramatic eye.
Yeah.
And I think it's effective.
A lot of drag queens do that right now. But how old is Alyssa Edwards?
I think she's like maybe in her 40s.
Girl. Really?
I think so.
Is
Do you
it-
think she's older? I think she's like
I
mid.
think she's-
I don't want to be shady. I genuinely don't know. I think if I had to guess, she's probably done with 40, approaching 50. Somewhere in that range.
I know I'm the same age as Bianca Del Rio. Can you imagine?
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. That's like when people say like Cardi B and Adele are the same age. That's like, that doesn't, like, what? That's crazy.
But
Oh,
anyways,
short.
props to Alyssa Edwards
No,
for gracing Slaysian Royale.
I also didn't know your age until you told me.
Yeah.
I literally thought you were younger. I'm like not even kidding. And that's like no tea. I just never put an age to your.
I mean, I've done Botox and some fillers,
Well,
but
there we
I
go.
haven't had facelifts yet.
Oh, yeah. So it's on
Yeah,
the
not
list.
yet. No, not yet,
Okay,
not
okay,
yet.
okay.
Yeah, nothing on my neck yet, but
Okay.
I've done all the Botox.
Okay, well, work.
Yeah.
Well, you look good, Mom. So then we have captivating Cat on the other end, and I know she joked about this is like, she was like, I don't know if I want to even say this, but like on the season 3 finale, when Mama Cat, what are you here to do? And then she said, I'm gonna replace Chickly.
I
Do you remember
know.
this?
And that's why it's so, like, it's such uncanny timing that she's the guest judge in this because we know that in this episode, Mama G, yeah, I'm gonna cry again. She's very dear to us Filipinos, Filipino drag, because she really fought for our representation. And she was really the first one to really advocate, to the whole world that Filipino drag queens are world class, and there are clips of that. And so, before, let me just put this again, before Mama Jiggly passed away and left us, she performed here in San Francisco. That was her last performance with us, our group, the Mabuhay Bitches.
Yeah.
And so it really, really affected us a lot as a group. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, her passing really shocked and was so profound.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely agree with you. Like, especially in the first early seasons, there was one Asian queen each season. So anybody who was remotely Asian, like it was Angina, Jujubee, Raja, Manila, and then Jiggly. So like for the first so many years, that was it. We had our core group who represent a lot of them from Southeast Asia. All of them from Southeast Asia, actually, now that we think about it. So it was, I actually, in February, I was in New York to do Made in Asia, and Jiggly was one of the headliners. I met Jiggly, I met Jujubee, and I met Jasmine Rice. And I remember so fondly walking into the dressing room and just seeing Jiggly then being gagged. I remember when I was in high school, I would put gifs of her on the runway in my high school PowerPoint presentation. Because I was just like, let's make it interesting. The teacher would make it interesting. So I'll be like, I'm going to pick drag queens. And I would always pick that one gif of Jiggly in the baked potato couture, just walking down the runway. And when I met her, I was like, I don't want to bother her or anything. But I went up to her and I said, Drag Race Philippines is my favorite Drag Race franchise ever. Love the work you do. And she said, thank you so much, baby. And that moment will always be with me. And when she got on the mic at Made in Asia and she was talking, she was just like, there's a reason that this franchise is the most popular in the world. And that is because Filipino drag is excellent and fierce. So even until as recent as February of this year, she was carrying that message.
Yeah, exactly.
And what a great representation for Filipino drag.
We will never forget her.
Her legacy is this show. And every queen who was inspired by her from Turin to
so. You're right.
Arizona, all of them, there was a moment every season where someone was just like, they would always, and she was like a cool, on the judging panel where she would tell you how it was. She didn't have the poise that Khaled Karen had. She didn't have the austere the austere personality of a head judge. But she was I think
she tell it like it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love her for that.
But yeah, so Cat is on the and then so on, and then the runway is started. So the first group to come out is, oh my gosh, who was it? Oh, it's the Mariahs.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness.
I was blown away.
This goes back to what I was saying. The culture of impersonation in Southeast Asian drag.
Crazy.
They both, Kiana and Minya's just like, oh girl, we'll pull out the Mariah look. What?
The description was so good too, with Kiana being the younger Mariah, and she looked really like that. And then Minya's like the older one.
Oh, that was interesting. I love how they put the current Mariah as the OFW work. I mean work. But and then they all did the Mariah they had the hat. It was a performance. And I think
Mariah the one in the wheelchair. Is she the one in the wheelchair?
I think they just put all of them in wheelchairs just so that they're more comfortable.
Oh, no? Very apt because Mariah can't move her house.
Oh my God. Well, good. I hope Mariah ignore that part. We love you.
I love you. I grew up with Mariah. I just sang my all from my last year. Yeah.
Wait, actually, no, I have a question then.
Yeah.
How is Mariah Carey super popular in the Philippines?
Yes.
Has she ever performed there?
I think so.
Work.
I think so. Yes, she has.
Okay.
Yes.
But where did that come from?
She said, I love your country, but I don't like the cockroaches.
Of course. What a diva thing to say. Where did that come from? What is the gravitation, would you say? Is there a specific diva worship for Mariah specifically in the Philippines?
Yes. All of us love Mariah.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that
Great
does
vocalist,
not like Mariah.
Okay, work.
Yeah, we were lip syncing all of her songs, Butterfly.
Do you think I'm making my own connection here? Is it because Christmas is so big in the Philippines that Mariah also has her own second wave?
You're probably right, but Mariah is just so...
Oh no, Mariah is iconic.
It's just so queer icon and just so aspirational for queer people because she represents something extravagant, but that queer people long for, and we want that kind of attitude, that kind of respect, because we're not given that in the first place, and that's my own analogy.
Got it. Okay, well, you know what? I live. What a great way to represent. I think it was a cool angle to take with all the angles that people usually take for, a makeover challenge. Celebrity impersonation is ingenious. I can see it in both ways, where it's you get to you use your makeup skills to transform them, but then it's not about it was such a cool choice.
But Venus is such a master in transforming. She's not Although nowadays, like, I don't know if it's about not having enough time, but she's usually the same makeup, but Venus is such a master in transforming her face.
Even for like
Yeah.
illusions, just
Impersonating other, we call them
Mm.
artistas or celebrities in the Philippines.
One thing that I noticed is like she's a very versatile makeup artist. Even in the content that she releases for each of her runways,
Yes.
like the one where she was painting, it was so interesting. She just added an
So
extra
fish,
line to
yeah,
the top
right
of her
here,
eye.
and it made her
But
look different.
The way that it
Yeah.
transformed her face, like
Yeah.
that is just masterful.
Genius.
Ingenious. And
Yeah.
like right now her makeup is kind of, it's so different than what it was even just 3 years ago when she was on
Yes.
her original
Yeah.
season. But I noticed that like when she was doing the painting content
Mhm.
video, just adding two half circles
Already
changed her
transformed
look.
it.
She
Yeah.
looked like just any woman
Yeah.
painting.
That girl is
Crazy.
another level. And then, by the way, this is another Venus wig.
Fabulous.
Thank you, Venus. Thank you, Nak. I call her Nak.
Amazing, incredible.
Yeah.
So that was the first runway. Great job. The second runway, I think, I don't know if they were second, but I'm just gonna talk about Suki and Brigading's look.
I think they came second.
Okay, they were
Yeah,
very
that was
effective.
brilliant as well. Although I still favor the Mariah. I mean, I really appreciated the representation for the Philippine flag, the colors blue, yellow, and red. But the other group also had the same color scheme, actually. The one of the Chinese.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, Yuha's mind is so powerful.
But the backstory of that was, I think, what the judges really appreciated.
I liked the performance aspect of it. I like how it gave them something to do. I like how they each got a moment where
Yeah.
like they said something or like they performed something.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like show us the looks, give
Yeah.
us the story.
Yeah.
And so this time they were unraveling her.
Yeah.
And then they did a little dance with
Yes.
the flag pieces. And then I loved how the OFW worker said, not so ladylike.
Yeah. And, the sequined Filipiniana is also on point.
That's what I'm saying. So Brigading obviously had these three looks.
Yes.
Now I'm like, what did Suki Doll bring for two
I
people?
know.
Now I'm like curious. I mean, obviously when they were probably getting together, they're like, okay, let's go in this is probably stronger. But if this was the stronger version, what was Suki's strong version?
I know, because Suki is a designer.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, honestly, if I was Brigading, or if I was paired with Suki, I'd be like, Suki, put me in whatever. And
Yeah.
I know we're gonna look good. But I think it was interesting of Suki to be like, no, Brigading, this is the way. And I love how Suki even embraced the Filipino culture. She said, I'm a Filipina maiden. I forgot what she said I'm a Filipina maiden now.
Yeah.
What did she say?
So was it Talagita?
Yeah, exactly. She said that,
Talagita,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Talagita Filipina?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Talagita Filipina.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, great concept, great execution. Next, we have the third group, which is Bernie and Arizona coming together. And their outfit is, tell me this story. Because I could tell, I was like, okay, when I saw it, I was like, okay, it's giving like Dynasty, it's giving like broad 80s, but that was where it
Exactly.
ended for me. But they were saying a villainous, like tell us
You
more.
know the telenovelas of the
Mhm.
Latin Americans?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have that in the Philippines. We have Philippine versions. So we
Work.
have anti-heroes,
Mhm.
we have the villains, and they're usually like the matrons, and they're rich, and then they have these, puff shoulders and high-end jewelry, and they have this attitude like, who are you? Like they would be like, and there's a really popular movie of that with Sharon Cuneta, who is a very popular actress in the Philippines. And the villain there, his name was Sherry Hill, and she had this popular line saying, "You're nothing but a second grade copycat," before throwing the water on Sharon Cuneta's face. And that's what she did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That reference was also fierce. It's just that what they were wearing.
Now I know all that. I'm like, why were they in the bottom then? I
I
thought that
know.
was fear.
I
Okay.
also thought it was brilliant, but maybe it was the design, I think, that they lacked.
Maybe it was perhaps understated. Now, if
Yeah.
we're lining up the outfits, yes, it was just like stretch dresses. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were well constructed, but compared to the amount of detail,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
From
really
the
compare it to
others.
the Mariah because that's like on its own league.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at Suki and Brigading's,
Yeah.
and then also Yuha and
Yeah.
Siam's,
They've wasted the opportunity. They could have gone so big and gone so extravagant with really big jewelry and really big, and really like emperors and empresses. They could have gone that big.
I see. Well, are you giving 80s villain?
Kind of, yeah.
Yes?
Who are you? You're nothing but a second grade, trying hard, copycat.
Well, I did wear my proper settings for, so you can throw water in my face. It's fine. But yes, okay. So well, now that I know that, I feel like they did a good job. But you're right. I now I can appreciate it more. I liked it for what it was, but now that, thank you for adding that.
This was a little bit of a design challenge, and
Yeah.
and that is Ari's weakness. And also,
Mhm.
although Bernie won in her season,
Yeah.
but I don't think she's a really good.
It's a different Bernie. This is just a different Bernie. I refuse to believe that they're the same Bernie. Yes. So then, last but not least, we have Siam and Yuha, who I thought this was. You're right.
I thought they were the bottom girl.
I
honestly.
thought so too, because I was like, okay, if I had to pick a favorite, I agree with the judges. I think the best group was, in my opinion, Brigading,
Yeah.
and Suki. I just thought the story, the way that they did it,
Polished, yeah.
and that your makeover pairing
Yeah.
really helps with that. Like the
Mhm.
person was so
Yes.
into it,
Mhm.
was basically already a drag queen, came in with the right attitude. So I think that edged them over the others. But if I had to rank them, I would put maybe this one almost last. Now that I've known everything.
Yeah, I really didn't like those things on their faces and their head. They were like, oh, that's so ugly.
Do you think that was Siam's touch? Knowing our girl.
Don't get me in trouble, girl.
Trouble. I'm just like, they said that they combined them, and I'm like, if I had to pick between what was Yuha's and what was Siam's, I could only imagine.
Well, you're right. She's known for these really intricate details and whatnot. Like you see so many details and extras. in what she's wearing.
Exactly. So they do this. It's a very interesting story. So it's. I was like, where are these references coming from? So they both had sashes, because Homecoming is no. Because now I'm thinking about it. If I was Yuha and I heard Homecoming, yes, as an American, I would think Homecoming Queen, Homecoming King. That's where I thought my mind would go. So I'm curious as to what prompted her to have the sashes, because nobody else went in that direction whatsoever.
That as well.
Okay, well, I think I'm interpreting as Homecoming King Queen. Is there a culture that I know that there's like prom in the Philippines, right?
It's such a mismatch with the Chinese.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it was like number one emperor. I mean, I have fond memories of Homecoming. Actually, there was a Disney Channel movie called Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior, and I think the cultural lore of a Homecoming is just integrated so much into the zeitgeist.
I'm getting used to it.
Yes, I'm getting used to it. But it's so integrated so that I just think that's where Yuha's mind. So then I'm like, okay, so anyways, so I was thinking about it laughing because it's so funny how they came out with the.
I know, I noticed that. I think it is very evident even in Siam's season at Drag Race Thailand, that she was overthinking so many things, and it doesn't come out right.
Yeah,
she has a tendency, and I think it shows here as well.
But I think the performance in and of itself was funny. Like one main empress and then Siam and Yuha just arguing with each other. I think Yuha painted Siam. Did you notice that? Because her makeup looked very different. Because Siam is a little bit more subtle. Yuha often has the big cut crease, the very colorful wide eyes. You had to paint 3 faces. I'm like, girl, this is crazy. Or maybe Siam was just like, girl, let me just copy you. I don't know. We'll ask Siam.
Really a good point, because you're on TV and you really have to adjust your makeup with TV, because the close-ups will look horrible if you have these really strong lines that are not blended.
Exactly. Or maybe that's what you need. I don't know. Actually, I have no idea. I'm pleased with the way that I look when I watch these clips back on YouTube. So I'm just sticking to it. I think we both look good for what we.
Thank you, lighting.
But yeah, so that's all 3. That's all 4 looks. They all have moments on stages where they're talking to each other, and the judges are very complimentary of everybody. I thought it was so funny when Kat was just like, my season 2 sisters, and then she said, if I have nothing nice to say,
this is the point where if you have nothing to say, then shut the fuck up. And that sums it up.
So funny.
Sums it all up.
I mean, I don't even think she was half joking. I think she was being dead serious. I think it's. So actually, this is like Alyssa Edwards just keeps on making appearances like this all over the franchise. She was actually at España's season 4. I think she was at España's crowning. She was just there. And I think as soon as she won Global All-Stars, I love how she just kind of became this global representative.
Of part of her responsibilities.
I would live. I mean, if that's how it works, then that's fierce. But I just think it's so funny how she's going to all these places and she's really what a great personality. She's just taking it. She's just like, let me learn it.
She's a girl.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
She's just an icon.
Global, the all-star in the global pavilion.
Whether or not you agree to her fashion, she's still an icon.
I think her fashion is good. Who didn't agree with her?
Remember that clip of them queens joking in the dressing room, and then one of them said, "If you were to lose one of your senses, what would it be?" And then one of them
Crystal
said,
Method was like, clearly.
Not taste, because you already lost.
You already lost your taste, exactly. And Alyssa was gagged. She didn't know what to say, but she was ready to answer. She was like,
"Yeah, oh, it's so funny."
But yeah, so complimentary from everybody. That's why I'm like, everybody was so nice too. Like all the judges' critiques were so nice. And ultimately, the winner is Brigading and Suki Doll. Safe are Siam and Yuha and the Mariah team, the 3 Mariahs. Do you agree with this placement?
Come to think of it, Brigading really conceptualized. I think the Mariah thing was too easy. It's too easy for me, and I think Brigading really did that research and apply that to the dresses that they were wearing, the Filipinianas that they were wearing, and that backstory was also priceless. as opposed to, oh, we're all three Mariahs. Okay.
Yeah. I think it was a cool concept and it was an interesting way to tackle it, but you're right. I don't think it was winning. I think you're right. They awarded the win to the person who put in the most research.
This is what makes you win.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But actually, that's not really true.
Oh,
not all the time.
I mean, that's what when they were the makeover challenge judging across seasons can always go either way. They can be like, you look too similar, bottom two. You look totally different, bottom two. You look identical, bottom. Like it's like you can go any way.
That's why this is such a difficult competition because you're not only using one skill. You have to have so many skills at the same time.
Multidisciplinary. So Brigading, we'd all have the unfortunate challenge of having to select who goes home. And immediately you can tell like Bernie and Arizona are overcome. They're so sad.
Aria immediately cried, right?
It was really rough. They go backstage to Untucked, and then Ari and Bernie are just hugging each other crying because Ari knows that like, okay, Ari even said at the beginning of the episode, Bernie, this is your last save. If you're in the bottom again, I am sending you home. She even said that. Like, so I was like, foreshadowing.
I honestly think this was a setup. Like, I think the producers knew that they were best friends. Oh, sorry about that.
No problem. This is dry. This is dry.
I thought I was rich, but no, apparently not. My earrings are not capable of staying as long as I want. Anyways, I think this was for me. If I was a producer in the Philippines, I would do my research already and already find out about these relationships that can be a good point of conflict in the show. I think they used this to the show's advantage because it was, for me, it was too perfect. You know, that this situation could happen.
Right. I think you're right. I think the main reason that I can see your theory is that a case could have equally been made for Yuha and Siam to have been in the bottom.
It's a very usual narrative because we, as human beings, we gravitate towards relationships and conflicts because those are interesting. That's what we live for as human beings, right? We navigate all of these relationships as people ourselves.
Yeah. So in that case, who would you pick to send home? If you had the power to pick the lipsticks,
I think it was very obvious, girl. It would have been
Bernie's time to go. I mean, Brigading could have knocked out her biggest competition because I think, you know, if she had the mindset of like a really super competitive mindset, she knows she can beat Bernie, but she doesn't know if she can beat Arizona. And there's a case to be made for both of them. This is your second time in the bottom, but Arizona does have one Rue badge over Bernie, who has no Rue badges.
You know, but not to say that, you know, the opposite hasn't happened in other franchises. Case in point, Manila Luzon.
Yes.
Who else?
Pangina Heels,
Jimbo, and Shangela.
Yeah, but you know, looking back, maybe that was the right choice.
Oh yeah.
So basically, I think you're right. Yes, the writing is on the wall, but I think there was interesting. Bernie, when she's talking to Brigading, is like, I don't think they want me here. What do you think she meant by that? Because Brigading is like, girl, who doesn't want you here? Who doesn't want you here? Tell me who. And Bernie's trying to be like, you know, she's like, I don't think they want me here.
This proves my point.
Yeah.
She sensed that this may have been planned, but she just interpreted that, oh, they don't like me. Because if they don't like her in the first place, why is she there?
No, right? that's
she's there for a reason.
Yeah,
that's the reason is for her to have a limit at that point.
You know, everybody can't be the star.
Yeah.
Especially when you're directing an episode or show like this, you have to know your place. And it's unfortunate that's what happens. I think that's how a lot of the queens felt on All Winners because they were used to being the star of their respective seasons from the beginning, whether they knew it or not. They knew that they were doing well. They knew that they were going to make it to the end. So all of a sudden, when they're just being a normal contestant again, and somebody else is having that storyline, it's hard for them to reconcile.
I mean, in that case, you know, when I was thinking about Raja, like, if you're all winners, then it's more difficult to really theorize such as this, like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Wherein we can tell the levels of each of the competitors. But for them, I saw that they were all in equal footing.
I would say so, yeah. But one moment that I found so funny was Bernie was trying to plead her case to Suki Doll. She was like, how can I say this to you? And I was like, oh no, Bernie! That's so unfortunate.
Everything was at her odds.
Yeah. She's like, how can I convince this person when I'm not so fluent in English to the same level? But I mean, you know, she gets her point across and she's just speaking to her and she's just like, and Suki's like, girl, I didn't understand that, but I get it. And Suki's like, I think Suki already knew who she was gonna send home.
And by the way, disclaimer, these are just our thoughts, okay? None of this is factual. These are just all in our minds and our theories. It's not necessarily true. I have this series because I've been a TV producer back in the Philippines.
Oh, see, she's coming in with a different mind.
Exactly. I know. We coach all of them. We try to provoke them as well.
Poke. No, you know right where to poke, when to get to elicit the reaction.
So I did that as a producer myself.
Wow.
So that's why I have a little bit of insight.
I mean, this is quite a production in and of itself. So your producing skills are very, very effective.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So then they go into the lip sync, and it is a Filipino song. I think for the first time this season. Exciting. I like how they have a very international selection of songs. So it's well, maybe not fair to everybody, but
I was really curious. Who was the artist?
I know that the song's name was Room.
And then it's international.
No, it is a Filipino.
Oh, it's a Filipino
Filipino
song.
song. I don't know the artist. But I mean, the song was in English, so I think it was. I think it evens the playing field because even in. Yeah. Well, what I noticed was like there's a lot of English songs even in the normal seasons of Philippines, right? Like or like the non-All-Star season.
No, I actually noticed that they would only play like really old Filipino songs. They play new ones as well, but I saw like I really questioned like, oh, maybe they don't have the money to pay for the rights yet for like international songs or.
I mean, this season they shelled it out. We got Cat's Eye on the first episode. Yes. We got Aqua last episode. Yeah. So they were getting international artists. They got like a Thai singer for one of them and so on and so on. I think that makes it fair. I mean, it's funny how they're like going through, I'm like, is it going to be a Canadian singer next? Because we got the British song Aqua for Something Wrong. We got the Thai song for CM. We got Cat's Eye for, everybody kind of.
But this song is out of the blue. I don't know the artist. Do you know?
No. But I will say, I love international franchise lip sync playlists because you learn so many good songs. I love when a queen interprets a song, that sticks in your mind. This happened for season 3. As soon as I heard Pureba, that first episode, I was like, I'm performing this. In fact, performed Pureba twice, just out there in the world because it's such a fierce song. Well, every single time I was with the Mabuhay Bitches or with my co-winner. But
can you memorize really quickly, girl?
I would say so.
I can't.
Really? Okay.
I really think that I have dyslexia. Because I would interchange words, interchange letters.
But you sing live. How do you memorize all those lyrics?
I don't know. The motor skills, actually, the memorization.
I see.
But I interchange like letters in very simple words. Yeah, I interchange I and it. Maybe the Bisaya in me. O and U, and I don't know what the order is in very simple words as well.
Interesting, but like that is a challenge when you have to memorize.
Yeah, it's harder for me to lip sync than to sing live. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, you're right. I guess this is when the voice is coming through, it's more of a motor skill, while this is really more of like
a mind.
Have you lip synced before?
Yes.
Yeah. But you prefer live singing?
Would really take me a lot of time to memorize, which was I find I'm investigating the selection. I have some of the symptoms.
Well, we live for your live singing, Mama. I don't know a lot of drag artists who sing live, so every time I think it's always a treat to see a drag artist sing live. Yes, but yeah, I think it's also interesting because I love lip syncing songs in different languages too, and sometimes I find like some languages are easier to learn for me than other Indian languages. I think the way that I listen to music is just. I think about the lip sync first. Like even if it's a song that I would never lip sync, even before I knew what drag was, I would be lip syncing. So I think that's just how my mind just.
Yeah. I'm asking you because I'm wondering if they give the songs in advance before they come in.
Really? Or not before they come in. From what I've heard, from what other people have said, you come in, they give you a small MP3 player, and it just has all the songs on it. And then the day of the challenge, they'll tell you what the lip sync song is. So that's why sometimes Mama Pao says, prior to tonight, you were asked to lip sync, or sometimes RuPaul even says that too. Like prior to tonight, you were asked to lip sync. So like there is like the challenge day, they'll be like, this is the runway category. The lip sync song is this. So sometimes if they know that they did really bad, they'll just go home and start listening to that song over or back to the hotel.
I don't think I can turn it out the next day. That's a huge problem.
I think if I were to be there immediately and someone just gave me like these are the only 20 songs, I mean you have nothing else to listen to.
Oh
so
yeah,
I'd be like, bro, okay, fine, play
you have
it.
a point. You're not speaking to anyone.
You're not speaking to anyone. I don't know if you have Wi-Fi in the hotel.
Probably
you can
not.
probably watch TV, but like if you want to listen to music, this is your only music. Might as well learn them.
It's like a prison.
Oh my god. But the prison experiment, the Drag Race Philippines prison experiment.
Yeah. But this was an epic battle, girl.
Oh, they were both in their human unit. I mean, Suki was tossing their human hair around.
It was so entertaining.
And they were both in similar outfits.
Yeah, and there was a point when they were in sync as well.
Yes, without even like looking at each other. And then like Suki, I think really wanted it because she was the one who was on top of reading. I was like, damn.
Surprised me.
I was like, oh my goodness. And there was like one screenshot from it that looked like a Renaissance painting because you had Arizona and Bernie in this corner. You had Yuha on the floor like this to see if they were kissing. And then the two Mariahs just standing. I live. What an exciting lip sync. This is how you make a moment. Why not? Why not?
And this again proves my theory ever since the beginning that you could really compare the Filipino queens and the international queens in terms of skill-wise, in terms of performing. And Brigading really turned it out, girl.
Yeah, oh my goodness, fabulous, fierce. I think it goes back to, I think I noticed this as well. The Philippines, you just have different stages and venues to do drag.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
of the sorts. When you are a seasoned drag artist who's performing at the top venues in the Philippines, you get these massive stages. You know how to command the room. Well, a lot of the times, like when we're performing in San Francisco, it is a
Barely.
the size of this living room, you know, or sorry, the size of this elaborate studio.
Girl, I tried to do a cartwheel in the former stage of a bowl, and I hesitated, so I looked like a kindergarten trying to do a cartwheel.
But did you do it?
I did, but I hesitated a lot. I'm like,
that
it looks so funny.
that if we put that stage in the set, like both of us would be falling off.
Yeah.
Like if we were sitting on that stage right now on this set. I remember that stage.
I
That was
don't
like
know
a table
how
on.
Tilapia does it on that stage, and she's
Well, tilapia
so
is
good.
tiny, girl.
Oh,
Tilapia can do.
too. You actually say tilapia, right?
Tilapia.
Yeah.
Tilapia. Oh yeah, tilapia.
I said tilapia.
I mean, that is the pun of her
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
But yes. Oh my gosh, the dancing diva of Philippines.
Yes.
We live.
Hi,
But
Tila.
hi. Tag yourself below.
I'll tag you.
So drag will always find a way,
Yeah.
but it is a lot more exciting when you have those opportunities to put on productions. And I think that's why I'm so excited about things like GAPA, because what a great opportunity.
It's happening this weekend.
GAPA is happening this weekend. So if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and you're watching this episode on September 13th on Saturday at the Herbst Theater in the Civic Center in San Francisco, we'll be hosting GAPA Runway 2025. The theme this year is Myths and Legends. I am the current reigning Miss GAPA alongside Miss Ariola. So we will be stepping down and crowning 3 new winners, a Mr. Mix and a Miss GAPA this year. So if you've never been to a drag pageant before, this is like probably one of the most accessible, probably one of the most fun that you can go to.
I would say so. I'm producer, so I should be proud of that job.
Exactly. She has been tirelessly backstage
know.
working through it, worked to the bone, and it's gonna be a fierce night. So come out there. It's gonna be fierce. We'll see you there. Birdie goes home, and she's really emotional. She'll always be our D-Dye. Some queens are meant for drag, and really great performers might not translate to drag.
And she removed her wig, and I thought that was a really beautiful act, and it really showed the true Birdie.
Even through the All Stars glow up, she is still the queen that we fell in love with on season 2.
All right, and that was it.
That was it. What a great episode. So
We
next
made
week,
it, yeah.
Next week is Snatch Game. Ooh,
Oh.
wait, should we come in like Celebrity Illusion?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, next week. Okay, next.
Who
Okay.
would you be?
Who would I be? You'll have to tune in next week.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know. There are so few. I'm trying to think of like an Indian celebrity or someone who I look. Okay, fine. Who's coming to your mind? Have you ever done a Celebrity Illusion before?
No, not yet. But
Well,
I
next
have to
week
join
you're gonna
that.
see. Okay, we're gonna come in Celebrity Illusion.
Although, though, this is my fear that if I did join Drag Race, this will be my limit.
Well, good thing we're practicing that. So catch us next week on another episode of
Slaysian Persuasian.
Bye.